Coverage of tonight's race presented by, of course, Asphalt Racing Network, Decals, Paint and Photo Shop, and of course, Young Hitter Collectibles on Whatnot for all your collectible needs. Go ahead and follow. Welcome, everyone, to another week here back at Phoenix. First time for Season 3, the Desert Dash 220. Drivers now currently in their qualifying sessions. So let's go ahead and see what the field is looking like. As always, my name is Tyler Jones, and I will be here in your ears for the remainder of this beautiful Saturday night. Kyle Sims currently on track now for his qualifying time. Jordan Fisher on track now. Isaiah Fox as well. Dylan Barris. The 50 of Tristan Pena. Aaron Wright in the 60. Jack Plyler. Charlie Bennett. Lucas Lewis. Carden Hansen. Owen Lax. Josh Mason. Kenneth Colson. Mark Randall Jr. on track for his qualifying time now. Jared Smith as well. Thomas Adams in the 48. Someone we ain't seen in a few weeks, J.J. Moore. And someone we thought was about to be gone for the rest of the season, but decided to change his mind. The 99 of Mark Morton. Now, of course, last time JJ was here, he was taken out in what some might call a controversial wreck involving that 99 of Morton last year in the 3. Or the 8, I believe. Should JJ attend tonight, which he is here, he's going to be looking for redemption in the desert. That is a big, big fight to watch for. JJ has not been here the last 2 weeks. He has had a dominant season when he started in the playoffs. Now looking to try to do that again. Start off the streak strong here with possibly a first win of the season here tonight. Of course, multiple drivers have been placed on an extensive probation leaving Las Vegas. A lot of wrecks, a lot of maneuvers that can and should have been avoided have been the topic of discussion for the last 7 days. And a lot of drivers on high scrutiny now, not only with the league, but with the owners of teams themselves. Of course, our biggest question going in tonight as well is, can Jordan Fisher bounce back? He has had 2 DNFs back-to-back and is sitting just now at 14th in the point standing. Now remember, Jordan did have a pretty tough start of the season last year with about 7 DNFs in the first 10 races. Of course, Rainey hitting his qualifying time last as always. So now looking to see if Fisher can actually bounce back. As you saw last week, we have finally had a new winner, the 19 of Nathan Hawks. 3 weeks in a row, the car has been at the right place at the right time to take that win. So Steel City Racing was snapped of a 3-peat. But down to 1 car, now back to 2, as Morton has decided to return for the rest of the season. The biggest question is, can they return back into winning fashion? Of course, Peter Hoppy, he made a part-time start last week, or a one-off hot seat race last week. He finds himself in a car officially as full-time competition. He was signed to the one car after a successful hot seat in the 65 for Parker Motorsports. He was later signed to Bull Motorsports as well, so he will be appearing tonight in the 65 for the night. Then, of course, a lot of penalties from Las Vegas, like we talked about. A lot of drivers on high scrutiny. Looking into penalties, Lucas Lewis has received a 5-point penalty for his unnecessary comments over radio. Stephen Hayes has also gained a penalty after Vegas. He lost his qualifying privileges next week at Bristol and will receive an EOL on top of that for his avoidable contact in the race. This is the third race in a row where he has been in some kind of wreck which could have been avoided. Of course, the 3 of Hansen also got a penalty after last week. He has an EOL and a loss of radio privileges for the next 30 laps for his unnecessary comments over the radio last week. And the 99 of Mark Morton is going to be a silent one tonight in that car other than his team radio. He has lost radio privileges and received an EOL for mid-race comments, including a derogatory comment to another driver. Of course, looking to bounce back after a rough weekend in Vegas last week. Tough for those drivers. A lot more drivers have been under high scrutiny, but now looking to really change it all. Now that is rolling, we can throw the ticker up on the board. We have 7 minutes left in a warm-up. We're already seeing a few wrecks on there. I don't know if you saw that in the back end of your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you share the broadcast. Share the stream, of course. Get your drinks, get your snacks, because it's about to be crazy racing action. Of course, dogleg activated here tonight. Drivers will be able to go down that dogleg. While you're in here, the biggest question is, Steel City missing a driver. Is he going to use a provisional? I will forward that message. I've already had it. I already had it practically wrapped up with a bow for you anyway, but I'll let him know. Five minutes left in qualifying. While we are finishing qualifying, we're going to go to a commercial break before you get 25 laps of ad-free racing. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in just a few moments.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As that's still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Got a great car, great team. Let's go execute. Our time. We know what we got to do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next lap is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
You gotta stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can in one final shot.
Gotta hurry this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Your engines. 52 seconds left in warm-ups. Then we will go to the grid and show you who has claimed the pole here tonight. The Desert Dash 220 is about to be underway. If you're just tuning in, welcome in to the Asphalt Racing Network. Here's a look at our sponsors who help this league go around. Of course, the NARAS Cup Series, Asphalt Racing Network as always. Then decals, paint, and photoshops. And last but not least, Young Hitta Collectibles on Whatnot for all of your die-cast needs. Be sure to check them out. Warm-ups officially ended. Drivers going into pits now. And we are moments away from a green flag here at Phoenix. Now is the time to put your driver picks in chat. Who do you think is going to walk away with a win here tonight? Now showing you your official grid here tonight. JJ Moore solidified that pole position. Tristan Pena starting in second. Then, of course, we have Isaiah Fox in third. Corey Rainey in fourth. Kenneth Coulson in fifth, rounding out your top five. Joshua Mason sitting in sixth. Mark Morton getting that seventh place start for himself tonight. Charlie Bennett in eighth. And of course, Lucas Lewis in ninth place and Kyle Sims rounding out your top 10. Mark Randall, Sitting in 11th, Jordan Fisher in 12th. Owen Lax in 13th place. Jared Smith in 14th position. Dylan Barris in 15th. Aaron Wright in 16th. Plyler sitting in 17th position. Thomas Adams in 18th. Carter Hansen in 19th. Hollinsworth in 20th, rounding out your top 20 drivers here tonight. Then, of course, Hoppy, the new driver in a full-time seat, in 21st. Vergara in 22nd. Brendan Carroll in 23rd. And Wyatt Post rounding out your field. Don't forget, we have an EOL tonight, so the 99 of Morton will be starting in the rear of the field. Drivers anticipating this race all week long. This is a little bit of a testament of what we're going to see possibly in the playoffs. Drivers ready to roll here as we are moments away from a green flag. Pace car off. JJ Moore taking us to green in the box. Restart zone now. Here we go. First laps now underway. Green flag. Remember, dogleg is activated. Drivers able to go under to start off their runs. Do not have to wait a lap at all. Now Moore and Pena still in the top 5. Isaiah Fox looking to make a quick run up to second on the outside already, trying to put himself in a good position. Early on in this race, of course, 70 laps for stage 1 and 2. Of course, 80 laps for stage 3. So a bit of a difference there. Only a 10-lap difference. I feel like that's the closest differential we've seen from stage 2 to 3 all night. Might actually work out in favor for some of these drivers as well. Of course, top 5 right now, not really making a difference. Isaiah is up a position. Tristan down 1 position. Corey Rainey still in 4th right now. Mason still sitting in 5th. He is now in 4th. 2 positions up from where he started. I think everybody is still trying to get comfortable. Still trying to get the feel for the tires and really understand how this night is going to go for them. Of course, looking at our 7th to 10th position cars, that is Coulson, Lewis, Lax, and Randall. Not many deciding to use the dogleg early on. That's actually something I didn't expect. I felt like a lot of people would use that dogleg. Of course, apron does burn your tires off a little bit more, and just because you go under that dogleg doesn't mean they have to give you that position back and let you back up on the track for racing surface. Of course, you could run a lot of 1 and 2 on that apron, but you have to go back up before that pit entry. And then the same thing with 3 and 4. You cannot really run that apron in turn 3. There's just a wall there and a very, very slick apron majoritively of the time. So it is a little bit difficult for drivers to have to navigate when and when not to use that dogleg. Of course, not really seeing much of it been activated so far through the night. Probably a bit of racers or drivers currently using it. We'll see if anybody in the top 10 goes down. This time they do. So I would say maybe half of that pack right there is actually actively using dogleg. Now looking at Moore. We're looking backwards. of J.J. Moore to the 50 of Tristan Pena. Pena not too far behind, but still not close enough where he wants to be. 0.3 of a second back off the leader right now. Of course, only lap 8 of 70. Still a lot of racing left to go, not only in stage 1, but the entirety of this race. Don't want to show all of your tricks too early. Of course, you want to kind of let the car sit under you comfortably and let the tires get warm. Figure out how the car actually feels overall before you start making some crazy moves. Of course, doing a pretty good job there early on to still hold his position strong, but of course still needs to make a few more adjustments, most likely to keep on the rear of the 5 of J.J. Moore. He's holding a good gap now, but it doesn't seem like he's lost or really gained much time. The time he loses, he kind of gains back in his exits of the corners. Now finally under 0.3 of a second. The question is, how long will it actively take for him to catch up? See Moore in front using that dog leg. Pena staying on the actual racing surface track itself. I love it. We're seeing a bunch of different strategies from a bunch of different drivers already early on. Of course, teams have their own strategies. Drivers are running their own strategies as well. So may not be on the same pace as some of their teammates, but of course trying to make it work as much as possible. Just behind 10th place, this is Lucas Lewis, Stephen Hollingsworth, and Aaron Wright. Sitting the number 60 right now. You're seeing the 67 and the 60 fight it out here for the position. Wright already up 3 from where he qualified, looking to make a good run for himself tonight, as he has had some troubles with the transmission and that gearbox early on in the season. Sitting good and comfortable right now, not really worrying about it too early on. He still has a lot of time to get his momentum going underneath him in that car. Of course, nothing you really need to be too worried about too early on. Still a lot of racing left to go. Of course, going back up to the top of the pack, Isaiah Fox there diving down to the apron. Thought he was about to break loose and wreck. The 09 of Fox is the last winner here. Last time we came to this track, he was the winner. Of course, Isaiah's stats right now looking pretty good. Not the strongest at this point in time in the season, but of course only going to get stronger. He has had only 1 top 5 so far. 29 laps led and 1 win. I'm sorry, I think these are stats from the last race. So he had 29 laps led last race. Right now he's only in 3rd. Still a lot of time for him to make back. Of course, still trying to make it work right now for himself and that car. Doing a good job to hold his position strong right now. Still has a lot of time left in this race, just as much as everybody else does. So that is something we are all keeping a close eye on. as he was the last one to be able to touch victory lane. The biggest question going into tonight is he going to be able to do it again? Looking at the back of the field, 20th, we have Brendan Carroll of Dwayne Carroll Racing. The real question is Dwayne Carroll downfall? So far, DCR has only had 2 drivers attend the last 2 races. DCR and the Toyota do not look to be off to a great start. Right now, he has the 7 on track of himself, Brendan Carroll. He also has tonight the 87 of Jared Smith on track, teammate just behind. But who he is missing is the 8 of Gage Burns, who is a full-time competitor, and the 78 of Barnett. Seems each week is just 2 guys on the team. That is definitely going to hurt their odds moving forward for the rest of the season, as there's not many Toyotas on the field, and they are being hurt by that. The other 3 Toyotas on the field are all Steel City Racing, other than the 96, who is not here tonight. That is Tristan Pena in the 50, the 99 of Mark Morton, who is now in 13th place, and Aaron Wright, his teammate, not too far behind in 15th. The rest of the field is almost Chevy dominant. 5 Fords, 5 Toyotas. The rest of the drivers, all Chevy manufacturers. Going back up to the fight with the leaders. Pena starting to make it shake. He is well under a whole 10th off from where he was just I'd say about 20 laps ago, where Moore was able to hold him off to about 0.36. Now he's at a 0.24, dialing it in as he's in draft now. So he will have a great opportunity to shake up a lot of time and momentum here, possibly getting a lap led before the end of stage 1. We still have a lot of time left. That is going to be something that is going to be developing. Of course, we're going to keep you in the loop here. The more we know, just pay attention to that tower, because that'll tell you everything on the left-hand side of your screen, who is where, what is what, and how long are these guys going to be able to hold that time is really the only thing we don't know yet. Of course, Moore has been in the lead for 27 laps, all 27 laps of the race so far. Fastest lap right now is looking at a 26.639. Now, just to show you a little bit of a comparison, Tristan Moore, his last lap with the leader's lap, he ran a 26.595. Leader ran, 27.595. The leader ran a 27.530, so only a couple of hundredths of a second off the pace of Moore. Is Tristan slowly dialing it in there, though? He's catching up more and more time. Lost a little bit there, about back to 0.3 of a second, but still managing that gap pretty well. Of course, Josh Mason now in 4th. Field really spread out Isaiah Fox in front of them, kind of all by himself on the field right now. Then you got Charlie Bennett behind Mason. Corey Rainey sitting in 6th right now. Rainey still looking for his first win of the season. We saw that message at Daytona he sent coming into the season as the champion. Looking to try to do it all over again for season 3 and go back to back, but needs to find himself in victory lane before he can think about the playoffs right now. Has not been able to do so yet. Possibly looking forward to it in the near weeks. And of course, speaking of this schedule, this is our updated schedule for season 3. We are at week 7 at Phoenix. Of course, we move to Bristol, not next week because we are off for Easter, but the following week after that, so 2 weeks. We will be back. Of course, last race of the season at Nashville. Then moving to the playoffs, where we go back to Homestead, Miami once again for the season finale. A lot of drivers already spread out so far. Dylan Barris, about a 10th off pace from the leader in his position right now. Fisher sitting in 10th. Just behind Colson. You know, Jordan's stats as well. He's averaging a finishing position of about 9th. 1 top 5, no laps led, and no wins. That was last season coming into this race. Fisher really trying to dial it in here tonight. DNS on the season for him so far. Really trying to get that spark, the momentum going for Parker Motorsports, of course. Can be difficult, especially being a team owner and a competitor. Having to fight against your own teammates while making sure that they're all on the same strategy, on the same principles and the same ideals. Biggest question is, how long will it take Fisher to really turn it around? We saw it last year, season 2. Kind of go to a bumpy start for him. He didn't have much momentum. He really had to dial it in about midway. I feel like Nashville is what changed everything for him last time we went there. Now having to try to do it all over again, almost in the same situation he is now. Not having a good start to the season, having to really get it all back together. Make the advancements, make the mental notes, and try to get it all to work out. Of course, lap 40 of 70 right now. Drivers about midway through their progressions. Of course, looking back to the front, J.J. Moore still in the lead currently. Moore has had a really good race here so far. All 42 laps have been led by him. Biggest question is Tristan going to be able to dig deep in stage 2 to be able to take some of those laps back and run a few in the lead for him? Of course, Charlie Bennett in 3rd place. Josh Mason in 4th. Corey Rainey rounding out your top 5. A lot of drivers spread out on the field right now. We kind of expected it. This being a race where strategy is key. You don't want to do too much and possibly negative affect yourself too early, but you also don't want to sit back too much and wait for a good position to open up for you to be able to make those runs. It's one of those things where you kind of have to balance the good and the evil here. Between the tires, the gas, and the competition, it is very difficult to be able to do what you need to do in a timely manner, respectfully and comfortably. Of course, using the dog leg burns those tires off a little bit more. We've seen a lot of position changes so far. Not much in the top 10, a lot within the top 5 though. Now Moore going to be taking 3 wide there. He is able to maneuver it. A little bit of a tricky situation there. He was able to get around, no problem. Now looking, Moore has almost a 2-second gap on the 2nd place car of Pena. Tristan Pena in 2nd. Corey Rainey now up to 3rd. Not too far behind, of course. Pit laps did start for a lot of drivers. That's why we're seeing a lot of drivers in front of others that randomly are popping up. Stephen Hollingsworth, Lax, Bennett, Adams, Boris, Wright, Smith, Post, Hansen, Plyler, and Gordon all have went into pits. I think Adams is the only one that is not pitted yet in that group, excuse me. Lap 51 out of 70. A lot of racing action left to go. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more racing here for the NARAS Cup Series. Don't go anywhere.
Come on, guys, eat your food. Let's go. I want to taste your banana pudding. You taste my banana pudding. It's on. It's on.
I was going to say, will you marry me?
Is my makeup messy? Yes, it's messy.
Cellular help people save. They're simple tools. That's why I come on car. This year, let's cut even more things to show people how much they can save. Let's cut the face off of our helmets. Let's cut the top off of our steering wheel. Let's even cut our hats.
Isn't that just a visor?
Shut up, Chris. Great. Can't wait to see what y'all come up with.
Get your second month free with Consumer Cellular.
We are back from commercial break. You didn't miss nothing. We are green flag racing still. Lap 61. J.J. Moore still in the lead. 10 to go in stage one. Looks to be his. Tristan Pena is in second right now. Corey Rainey in third. Pena 6.5 seconds back from our leader right now. Corey Rainey just now entering the straightaway in third place. Kenneth Colson in fourth and not too far behind for Rainey. Lucas Lewis in fifth, running out our top five. Fisher now in sixth. Fox in seventh. Mark Randall in eighth. Brendan Carroll in ninth place. And rounding out our top 10 right now is the 29 of Vergara. A lot of movement has happened here within the first stage. A lot of movement has happened. Everybody up to sixth place, all a lap down from seventh back. Only top six are actively on lead lap. From 18th back, they're 2+ laps. The 60 of Wright being first one to be 2 laps down. Mark Morton 10 laps down. Now, of course, Mason doing his best right now, trying to hold a position. He's currently in 14th. He's 8 laps down from where he started. Mason is a part of those who are lapped down. Right now, Isaiah Fox in the lucky dog position with 4 more laps to go. Mark Randall not too far behind, but not close enough to give Isaiah Fox a fight here with 4 more laps to go. J.J. Moore in first place. Kenneth Colson in second. Rainey now in third. Paying all the way down to fourth. Lucas Lewis up. J.J. Moore, might as well count him. 70 laps led with 3 more laps to go. Sweeping stage 1. JJ is a dominant driver. We've seen a lot of dominance from him, especially when he came to NARAS last year during the playoffs. Had a spectacular Bristol run. Everybody expecting him to do it again in 2 weeks. Not next week, but the week after that. We are off next week for Easter. That man swept the entire Bristol race, put himself on the all-time laps led leaderboard, and started a immaculate run, not only for that 5 car that was having difficulties finding itself in victory lane just a year ago, but for Parker Motorsports and him himself. Now trying to show why this is called the most stacked class for rookies in NARAS history. Caution out, J.J. Moore with stage 1 all to himself. Colson finishing in second with Rainey in third. A little bit of a wreck there after the caution was out. That was Owen Laxton Plyler. And I believe we might have another car involved in that as well. Let's go back and see exactly what happened. Following the 40 of Lax right here. Lax slammed into the wall, made contact with Plyler. And just killed the 99 as well. Back down the track a little bit where he couldn't see, and that possibly hurt both of those drivers' nights. Morton's car seems to be done. Blind corner resulting in a bad situation there for the 99. Tough situation going on earlier tonight. That is definitely the end of Mark Morton's night. And Lax trying to tow it back. Nope, Lax is in pits now currently. Thomas Adams, that's who we were looking at. Seems to be all good with him. So there's going to be Pena and Moore side by side for the restart here. Of course, that wreck happening under caution. So not that big of a situation there that time. Won't add any cautions for wrecks onto the night, as the first caution here tonight is for stage break. Pace car off. Moore and Pena. Line 1. Rainey and Fisher, line 2. Almost an entire sea of drivers on the bottom side. Only one on the top side is Jordan Fisher. Green flag back out. Stage number 2. Moore already off to a heavy jump there in the front. Pena in second. Fisher off the wall just a little bit. Loses a lot of time. Rainey going to get a good entrance into that corner, being able to use the apex to the low side. Coulson now going to go to the bottom. Still too wide just behind the 4. Pena still on the bumper of Moore. We saw this happen early on last stage, and it slowly slipped away from Pena. Will he be able to regain it and get it back here tonight for stage 2? Pena already found himself to victory lane, being in the right place at the right time for the crown jewel, being the Daytona 500 season opener. Has had tough luck since then, not being able to find victory lane again, but still sitting comfortable, locked in to the round of 16 as alongside of his teammate, 99 Morton, who we just saw in that wreck with Lax. Rainey by himself, Fisher by himself, Coulson and Lucas falling off just a little bit there. They are about 3 wide for 6th place. All but 3 wide for 6th place. Oh, Ada Bennett puts his nose onto the bottom side. Now they are 3 wide for 6th. Hollinsworth advances over Bennett. Bennett gets it back. Remember, only 6 cars currently on lead lap. Charlie Bennett actively a lap down. Kristen slowly starting to fall off of that bumper of the 5. Is anything like we just saw. For stage 1, Moore going to be able to put a lot more time, not only on the 50, but on the rest of the competition on the field. Corey Rainey now has finally caught up to the front. You see that big gap between him and the 4th place sitter of Fisher right now. Rainey sitting comfortably in 3rd, not too far from the leaders. You see iShot in screen. Wreck on the field somewhere. Lax back out on the field. Kyle Sims with a solo spin there, going off the racing surface. The middle of the dogleg, not a good place to spin out. Thankfully, he gained no damage off of that, so he should be good to go, possibly going in for some fresh tires or maybe a new suit, because he probably got scared off of that one. Hopefully he does not have any damage. He doesn't have to worry about any of that. Could have some damage previous to his solo spin, which is why he had problems keeping the tires under him there. More than likely he didn't. Just a little bit, got back into the throttle just a little bit too early. Of course, that's going to cause that spin out. So now the first actual wreck caution of the night. And of course, 28 is going to be in this time as well, getting some tires, maybe a little bit of gas. Now trying to move forward with the rest of his night. The time of the caution, J.J. Moore was still your leader. Let's go ahead and see a quick race recap so far on the night. 85 laps for 220. J.J. Moore still in the lead, only 2 cautions for 8 laps, only one of those cautions being from an accident. Of course, as we said earlier, stage 1 and 2 were both 70 laps apiece, stage 3 being 10 extra at 80 laps. Now, with the pace car going off, we are about to be back to green. 5 or more taking us back to green this time. Once we enter turn 3 and 4 and hit the O'Reilly's restart zone. Green flag back out in the air. And you're trying to start off again with some heat. Getting to the rear bumper of the 5, but to no avail as the 5 slowly starts to pull himself away from the car in the field. 9 Fisher using that high side, almost scrubbing the wall there. He is currently sitting in 4th. Just in front of him is the 4 of Corey Rainey in 3rd. Lucas Lewis in the 24, rounding out your top 5 spot. Everything so far has been pretty good. And now we're in. We've only had 1 caution due to a wreck. These green flag runs are definitely a need for these drivers. If any driver hasn't been able to do practice, this is a great opportunity for them to figure out how the car is going to race. For all 70 laps, figure out what adjustments they might need to make. Of course, stage 3, 10 laps more. It will make a difference. Of course, Moore still in the lead. Nothing nobody's really able to do about it right now either. Pena in 2nd, Rainey in 3rd. Speaking of Rainey at this point in time, might need to give him a new nickname, Consistent Corey. 2 weeks in a row, Rainey has found himself in a top 5 position. And of course, is the highest in points that he's ever been. 9 points outside of the points lead. We're hoping to see King Corey back on top and in victory lane very soon. Could it be tonight? That is our biggest question. Evolving that 4 car. Of course, we've seen JJ have a really good run here, but JJ's race was cut short last time. We came here for 220 laps at about stage 2. About halfway through stage 2 by the 99 of this season. The last season of Mark Morton. A lot of times, normally what we see is cars that start off pretty good for stage 1 and 2 don't have the same exact results and or effects. With stages, and normally whoever ends up starting to sweep it sometimes loses at the end. So will that be a possibility for JJ here tonight, where he can get stage 1, he can get stage 2, but someone else comes and grabs stage 3 for him? We're still in the lead. Pena now in third. Rainey moved himself up to second and is not too far from the rear bumper of the 5. 28 laps into stage 2. And it has been a nail-biter here so far. Not one person able to run away with it. That's kind of what we expected here. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. We have more NARAS Cup Series racing action in just a few minutes.
Experience the world's most legendary racing events with iRacing. iRacing special events allow any member to compete in full-length multiplayer races based on some of the biggest events in motorsports all year round. Compete in virtual endurance races, such as the Daytona 24, Spa 24, and the Nürburgring 24 Hours. Take on some of the toughest races on the NASCAR schedule, such as the Daytona 500. We have events from disciplines all across the racing world, from the Indianapolis 500 to the Chili Bowl, from the Bathurst 1000 to the Crandon Championship. Our endurance special events utilize iRacing's team feature, where members can sign up and race together on their own team, swapping drivers throughout the race. Other events utilize iRacing Super Sessions, where you're not only racing against those on track, but against every driver taking part. And as every race progresses, watch and feel the track change with progressive time of day, dynamic weather and rain, and dynamic track debris and surface changes. Take on your favorite discipline or try a brand new racing challenge with our biggest races of the year, the iRacing Special Events. Learn more at iracing.com/special-events.
Of course, we are back here now with more racing action. JJ Moore still in the lead at lap 108 out of 220. Corey Rainey still sitting in second, a close second. Not enough right now to take that lead away but still sitting comfortably in second place right now. Of course, Pena back in third. Kenneth Colson behind him, and Lucas Lewis still in fifth. Jordan Fisher just behind in sixth place. Seventh is Charlie Bennett. Hollinsworth takes the eighth place position here tonight. Josh Mason in ninth. And Isaiah Fox rounding out your top 10. Caution out on the field. Dylan Morris has wrecked. Morris makes hard impact with an outside wall. As the 08 of Charlie Bennett he got connected with. Morris's car blew up on him as well. Definitely going to shake things up now. JJ Moore is in the lead currently. He is in pits, getting tires and gas. Corey Reedy comes out in second. Pena in third. Bolson in fourth. Lucas Lewis and Fisher fifth and sixth. Of course, only the third caution of the night. Second caution from a wreck. Of course. Gonna be a good restart here now. Pena actually takes the one spot. Now, of course, all restarts here are very difficult. This one's going to be a little bit more of a challenge now. We got a few different names up in the front. Green flag out now. Pena leading his first few laps of the race here now. Lucas Lewis in a very close second. JJ Moore still up there though. He is in fifth place right now, so you can't count him down and out where it matters the most, because he is still in that contention. "43 laps of this race have been ran in stage 2. 114 laps already done in the entirety of this race, so now we're at the halfway mark of the whole race itself. Because there are only 220 laps for the Desert Dash here at Phoenix. Lucas gets the lead over Pena. You know, right now, both of these drivers fighting for the lead are going to slowly but surely let the drivers behind them catch up. Back to single file now. Kenneth Golson only 0.8 of a second off pace from the leaders. Biggest question is, where is Josh Mason? Currently in 8th place. Mason, 2 races in a row, is in a spot to win the race, running second, and gets stolen by a wreck. Last week, a controversial finish halted Mason from running down Hollingsworth. Mason has turned around since last season with the most consistency out of Parker Motorsports since JJ arrived on the scene last season at Bristol. Now Pena holding a few laps for himself in the lead now. Of course, Lucas Lewis still not too close right now. He's a few tenths off, 0.16. He's not bumper to bumper, but he's still in breathing distance. Pena going to look to try to throw him off a little bit there as he enters the corner. Doesn't look like it worked so well. Moore is in third, so Pena's about to have a little bit of team troubles. Also in 4th place right now. Lucas patiently waiting for his opportunity to try to get a lap. Hasn't found it yet. Pena doing a really good job to hold him behind. Not giving him an area to possibly make a run on. Not over apexing his corners, trying to drive too deep so the car doesn't catch up with him. Textbook maneuvers right now from the 50. Trying to hold the lead he has yet to have. 13 laps now. But the man with the most amount of laps led just behind. JJ Moore now awarded 111 laps led in total. Of course, the biggest question going into tonight is, can Parker Motorsports pull it off? Fisher is 16th in the playoff standings and 15th in the regular season standings. The lowest he has ever been in his tenure with owning NARAS on iRacing. Jordan needs to find the mental quote to give his shot at becoming a 3-time regular season champion. He unfortunately is in the middle of moving locations outside of the sim, as well as he has confirmed
to some value. No, he has confirmed of some unrelated mental stress that has taken a toll on his racing. Now, of course, Fisher in 6th place right now. Not shabby. Of course, you know what they say, if you're not first, you're last. He takes that to heart very seriously. He's a very good driver. Does not like to take no for an answer either when it comes to being on a track. Of course, Pena's still in the lead. $11 more laps to go here for stage 2. Great racing we've seen here tonight. They've definitely bounced back and have really solidified themselves after last week. Now, of course, Pena's still in the lead. 10 more laps to go. Pena doing a really good job to dig deep now when it mattered the most to possibly get a stage 2 victory for himself. Now looking at it, 8 more laps to go here. Who is going to be able to take it away for stage 2? Will it be Pena? Will we see more resurgence come back? Almost done with stage 2. 4 more laps to go. Pena doing a really good job holding the lead out strong right now. Lucas Lewis in 2nd. Pena in 1st. Moore in 3rd. Coulson in 4th. And Rainey rounding out your top 5. Five more to go. And this is something we saw a lot mirrored in stage 1. Probably going to have a lot of it in stage 2 and 3. Coulson in 4th right now. Ready to go this time past the line. 2 more crossing the line this time. J.J. Moore now in second place. 2 laps to catch up. Now, of course, caution now this time by their into pits, getting ready for stage 3. Stage 3 a little bit longer, not too long. As of course, there's only a 10 lap difference. Watching J.J. Moore in his pit box there. 50 comes back out in the lead again. As everybody is out of the pits, they will regain in the middle of the track, and then we will do choose cone. Now, of course, fourth caution, almost about done with here for the night. Of course, this was stage break now. Mark Randall Jr. and DCR's very own Mark going back into pits now, so he will forfeit his position now. Give that another chance as he goes down here to suit that car back up to where it needs to be. Brennan Carroll in first. Pace car off this time, so we're going back green here. Green flag back out now. Of course, Lucas Lewis in the lead now. Lap 4 of 80. Not much of a different strategy coming into this stage. Only 10 more laps of a run. Lucas, Rainey, Moore, Hollingsworth, and Mason all in 5 right now. lap 6 this time by. Randy still yet to find himself in victory lane for the team himself. And that car, victory lane, was pretty evident it was, or could have been, his race to prevail last week. Corey still holding the lead strong as we're on lap 8 now. 147 laps completed. Pretty comfortable, pretty calm out here in the front of the field. That's something you like to see. Only a handful of cautions so far on that. Randy holding on strong right now to first place. Who is going to be able to take it away from him? Will he finally get the first victory here tonight? This is the biggest question overall to ask yourself. Looking at Lucas Lewis sitting in third right now. JJ Moore in second. Moore trying to get back all of those laps that he has led so far. I believe it was 112, 114 laps, Doctor said. 151, but a 220 this time by lap 11 out of 80 for stage 3. A lot more racing to get on with here tonight. Don't go nowhere, everybody. We shall be back.
Come on, guys, eat your food. Let's go. I want to taste your banana pudding. You taste my banana pudding. It's on. It's on.
I was going to say, will you marry me?
Is my makeup messy? Yes, it's messy.
This year, let's cut even more things to show people how much they can save. Let's cut the face off of our helmets. Let's cut the top off of our steering wheel. Let's even cut our helmets.
Is that just a visor?
Shut up, Chris. Great. Can't wait to see what y'all come up with.
Get your second month free with Consumer Cellular.
that commercial break, caution came out. Lucas Lewis around. Let's go ahead and go back and show you exactly what happened with the 24. Almost, but saved it there. Thankfully, he didn't get much contact with the wall or anything, so he is still damage-free, waited with the rest of the guys before he regained his position. Now it's going to be J.J. Moore in the lead and Tristan Pena in second place. Pit car off. 158 laps of this race now have been solidified in the books. Green flag back out now. JJ back to what he knows how to do and doing it just a fine job as well. Currently in the lead here. Moore with a good opportunity to go ahead and take the win. Last time he came here, he fell short by being wrecked up. Now trying to do it all over again. Of course, last time we raced here, Hollingsworth, Lewis, and Fox were all contenders for this race. We've seen a few of them in the top 5, but I feel like they haven't sat for long. Hoppy involved in that wreck this time by as well. Tough situation for Hoppy there. Involved. A little bit of a spin. Of course, now J.J. Moore still in the lead. Tristan Pena in a close second. Rainey in third. Hollingsworth, just talking about him, he is now up into fourth. You know, speaking of Hollingsworth, can he possibly recover at any point in time and find a victory lane as well? He qualified second for the 500, led a turn of laps at both Atlanta and Vegas combined for a total of 240 laps led this season. Still has yet to find victory lane and show the dominance he started to show us not early on this season, but as well as the playoffs, where he was not an eligible contender last season. Of course, fourth caution now. About coming to the end as the pace car goes off. JJ Moore will take this back in the flag. Restart zone this time by green flag back out now. Already done here tonight, and not many cautions either. Of course, all of the drivers have actually got a very stern talking to before we went into this race about cleaning up a lot of the driving incidences, a lot of the avoidable wreck possibilities, and now looking here, they are doing just that within a remarkable race back after a tricky and challenging 3 to start off the season. Week 4, still very early on. We still have a lot of racing left to go. Tristan still in second, trying to get that spot back for Moore. Had just been eluding him as long as the 5 has been in front. Still a lot left in this stage, so very well a big possibility here. Of course, Rainey in 3rd now, Hollingsworth in 4th. Charlie Bennett in 5th, rounding out your top 5. Bennett also making a pretty good name for himself here tonight. We really haven't seen him up within the top 10 that long, or the top 5, shall I say, the last 3 races. He's on him now for being able to hold a good position for a long amount of time here for this race. Now everybody back, single file. Now Moore currently in the lead. Pena not too far behind. Rady just methodically pacing himself back there. Watching these drivers, seeing what he needs to do and how he needs to do it. And that is something about Rainey. If you don't know that man, he doesn't like to just go out and get it too early on. He likes to sit back, pay attention, watch from a distance. Now looking back a little bit, Charlie Bennett in 5th place. Just behind is the 88 of Mason. Up to P15, now back on lead lap. Now they are 3 wide in 8th place. Charlie Bennett, Mason, and Fox prevails out of that entire situation. Someone who had a tough break earlier on the night, still on track now, is the 40 of Owen Lax. You saw him in a wreck earlier with the 99 of Mark Morton. In stage 1, he has an average finish of 9.5, 1 top 5, 74 laps led, no wins. At Vegas last time we came by. He's currently in 19th, trying to hold it together. Top 5 right now, Lucas Lewis. Last time he came to Vegas, he had an average finish of 2nd. 1 top 5, 6 laps led. Of course, Owen has an average finish of about 8th place right now for season rankings by average finish. Of course, some drivers with the stats don't have an average finish because it was their first race at this track. The 09 of Isaiah Fox has an average finish of 4th. The 88 of Mason at 5th for his average finishing position. The 00 averaging finishing position is about 7th. Lap 45 out of 80. J.J. Moore in the lead by almost a full second now. Tristan in 2nd. 3rd is Corey Rainey. Not too far behind him is the 67 of Stephen Hollingsworth. And the field once again has all but spread out here at Phoenix. Jordan Fisher, he is in 10th place right now. Rainey and Hollingsworth side by side there on your screen.
Shake and bake. And his name is John C.
Mark Randall in 13th position right now. He is on lead lap. Mark has actually done a very good job at trying to push up his finishing positions the more and more the weeks go by. Lap 50 now. 30 laps left of the race here at Phoenix. .190 out of 220. This race has kicked by pretty fast. An hour and 38 minutes of pure racing action so far. Drivers doing their thing, putting on a show for you guys here tonight. NARAS on ARN. We'll be back after a commercial break.
Did you know Toyota has 3 NASCAR Cup teams? We got Team 2311, owned by this guy, and 3-time Daytona winner Denny Hamlin. But Denny Hamlin races for another team, Joe Gibbs Racing. Yeah, Super Bowl winning head coach Joe Gibbs. And they both share the track with Legacy Motor Club, co-owned by 7-time Cup champ Jimmy Johnson. 3 epic teams, 4 legendary owners, all going after 1 cup. Now you're up to speed. You in?
Summer is here and you've got places to go.
She's headed to a golf tournament.
This one's headed to the beach.
And he's headed to a music festival.
And they know every good road trip starts right here.
At Hendrick Automotive Group.
We'll check your battery, tire pressure, top off your fluids,
check your cooling system, and do a multi-point inspection.
Extending the life of your vehicle.
And keeping you safe
anywhere you want to go.
For free.
Just make sure you're road ready. All good road trips start here.
Book your road ready appointment today at hendrickcars.com.
Last year, Ram killed the Hemi V8, and people had opinions. The same people that killed the Hemi sent me out here with these comments. That's not happening. We own it, we got it wrong, and we're fixing it. You hear that? That's our Hemi, and it's saying, I'm back.
Did he say what I think he said? That thing's not a Hemi!
Hell yeah, it does. You want more? Buckle up. Ram's coming back to NASCAR. Let's go. We're back in America's motorsport. The Hemi's back, and we ain't going anywhere.
21 more laps to go, and we will decide a winner. Well, we're not deciding the winner. The drivers are deciding a winner who can actually finish in the lead position. That right now being J.J. Moore. If white flag was out this time by, it would be his by 2.1 seconds on the night. Tristan is in second. A little bit of lap traffic in front. That is Owen Wax, the 40. Stephen Hollingsworth in third. Corey Rainey in fourth, and Lucas Lewis in fifth place. Tristan trying to use the draft of the 40 to pull himself up to the front. With 18 more laps to go, that might be a wise decision. 40 might hold him up a little bit. That's the biggest question now. Is Tristan actually making a good run? You see him now going to the inside of the 40. He is tired of sitting around, wants to try to get some of those positions back. Of course, that is not for position there as he gets around. $17 laps to go now. JJ Badal has it wrapped up with a bow. $163 laps led tonight. Fine racing from a man who is a rookie. This rookie class is a very dominant one. Can finish the rest of this race in the lead. That would give him 179 laps led here tonight, which would put him in third on the Cup Series stats for laps led, just behind Owen Lax at 752 and in front of Blake Witowski at 640. Of course, he gets another pole tonight, so he will move up to 15th. Of course, this win, if he's able to clinch it with 12 laps to go, will solidify his third win of the series, putting him now in a three-way tie with Witowski, Rainey, and him for sixth place. If he gets fourth, he'll automatically, then if he gets that fourth win, then it'll put him up to a three-way tie again with Josh Mayu and Lucas Lewis at 4 wins altogether. Above them is Jordan Parker and Mark Morton tied at 5, and Owen Lack still the all-time series stats for wins at 6. $11 more laps to go.
Tristan 3.1 seconds behind. Hollingsworth up 17 positions from where he started. He's in third. Not too far in front of Corey Rainey, who was only back by about 0.4. Rainey might be able to pass Hollingsworth with 9 more laps to go and solidify a top 3 finisher. Lewis, of course, in 5th place right now. Should solidify himself with a good finishing position. Isaiah Fox just behind. Kenneth Coulson as well, but depending on the tire wear right now, nobody might have enough to even be able to pass. Now 6 laps to go. Moore in the lead by 3.6 seconds. That number is still growing. He has 16-second differential to the 10th place sitter of Hoppy. A lot of guys laps down. About 5 guys retired here on the night. Minimal cautions, 5 laps to go. Looking at our recap, only 6 cautions tonight for 20 laps. 2 of those cautions and 6 of those laps have been because of stage breaks. So only 4 wreck cautions tonight. Only 4 lead changes. Lap 217 out of 220. JJ looked to get loose there, almost just broke loose and spun with 3 laps to go. Seems he's now trying to be very cautious in those turns. Tires worn. Two laps to go. .177 laps led in the lead. White flag out in the air, no more cautions. It is all but wrapped up with a bow for the 5. 2 more turns, 2 more corners, 1 more turn. JJ coming out of turn 3 into 4, going to the straightaway and crossing the line, breaking loose just a little, and just to save it, and puts himself in victory lane for the first time this season. What an incredible race for the 5. Way to start off the season. Cool down lap. You see everybody showing their appreciation. I'm absolutely surprised he's not burning it down. He might have ran out of fuel. Nope, there it is. And a blown up car to end the night. What a finish there. $178 laps led. He now finds himself sitting comfortably in 3rd all time with the amount of laps he has just led tonight. Oh, excuse me. No, I am wrong. He puts himself in 2nd. 812 laps now led by J.J. Moore on the all-time stats. He is just behind Mark Morton at 822 laps. Of course, post-race interviews with the top 3 tonight, that being J.J. Moore, Tristan Pena, and Hollinsworth. We might not be hearing from Hollinsworth. I do not see him in channels. So we're going to move to 2nd place. We don't have a 3rd place. We're going to move to 2nd place. All right, so now dragging in the 50. Steel City Racing, Tristan Pena. Doing good, man. How you doing? Seems to be a good race, though. We've only had 4 cautions due to wrecks here tonight. 2 from stage break, totaling 6 cautions in total for 20 laps. 6 of those laps were the stage break cycles. So not too bad. After the last 3 weeks we've had, you know, pretty what some would call a caution fest here and there. How are you
feeling about, just the difference of racing here tonight compared to the last few weeks?
It was definitely a lot better. It was definitely a lot cleaner, a lot harder racing, but a lot less cautions. Which is really good. I would have loved to have a caution with 20 laps to go, so hopefully close the gap there on the leader. I got held up by a lap car. It seemed like it could have been me just putting myself in bad positions with the lap cars. Because once I got a run on him, I was able to pass him easily. So I must have been doing something wrong on my part. But it stinks. Because I felt like I was starting to kind of gain on him toward the last 20 laps, and then it just felt like I got held up a little bit there, and just that happens. But he ran a great race, absolutely phenomenal. I had nothing for him there at the end. He saved tires like crazy. I don't know how he was doing it, but he for sure definitely outdrove me there.
Now, of course, qualified second, finished in second. Really wasn't able to get much done in the lead for the times that you did have it really pull away, like Moore was able to do. Of course, not many have experienced the the willpower, the strength of Moore when he's actually in a driver's seat. How did that feel for you tonight? Did you of course, like you said, you thought you had it at some points, but unfortunately wasn't able to. Do you feel like that was something that kind of caught you off guard with his speed, and you had to try to adjust as much as possible to it, or do you feel like it was just kind of once you noticed it, it was a little bit difficult to try to readjust to keep up or catch up to him?
From the start of the race, he was in a whole different zip code than I was. So I mean, he definitely was on it tonight. I wish I could have been on the same thing, whatever he was doing, but I just couldn't figure it out. Seems like got kind of mired back midway in the race, trying to and then I had to gain those spots back. Thankfully, I didn't get any of the little spin outs there in front of me. I was able to avoid it. Um, but it was hard racing. I had a ton of fun there, especially whenever I was in the lead. Even for the short period of time, I feel like if I was able to hold the lead there, I feel like I could have defended against him. But I mean, it's impossible to say because obviously he led a lot of the race there, and he was really good tonight.
Now, of course, with your performance here, how do you feel like you did? I mean, you really didn't falter away from your starting position, even at times where green flag pit cycles came up. You figured out and found your way back up into that starting position in second. So how was the racing here for you tonight, especially the cars? How did the cars feel?
It was odd. It felt like it wanted to spin out at any moment. And whenever it wanted to spin out, it wouldn't give any warning. So I mean, it was just trying to baby the throttle, and so you don't spin the tires, because it really hurts the right rear, and that'll put you out of the run for sure. Later on in the run, but it was fun. I liked the car to drive. The car drove good. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for the rest of my competitors, but I really enjoyed the racing here, side by side racing and all that. You were really able to put the car in different spots, especially whenever defending and passing. I had a ton of fun racing wise. Car though, saving I'm not great at. So I mean, uh, I feel like I didn't falter too well. It was a pretty good run for me, though. And I'm pretty happy. It keeps me in the points contention, and hopefully just be better next week.
Now, of course, Dogleg was activated here from the beginning of race on. Do you feel like that tire wear going off of the actual racing surface kind of gave a difference for the racing? Well, I saw you a lot of times did not dive under that dog leg. You really stayed in the racing surface going, through the front stretch into turn one, as a lot of your competitors around you dove under. Did you feel like that dog leg added a lot more tire wear to your run, or
or was that just a line you were wanting to run?
From the laps in practice that I ran, it seemed to kick the car out coming back on to the racing surface from the dog leg, and I really didn't want to do that during my run, so I just stayed on the racing surface most of the time, besides on restarts and some specific times were just using it to pass. But just whenever just running single file, just definitely not burning those tires up is key. And it was difficult to not use the dog leg because there was all that space down there, but I had to kind of restrain myself there. But yeah, it was definitely different not using the dog leg, considering most of the time in most cars you do. But overall, it was that's what I was doing strategy wise, not using the dog leg.
Now, of course, man, before I let you go and enjoy the rest of your Saturday, finishing the race early for once, about just at the 2 hour mark, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give? And we know how short this is
Uh,
about to be.
I want to give a shout out to my mom and dad. Sadly, they're out right now, enjoying their Saturday while I'm stuck here racing. But shout out to them.
Well, congratulations on the second place finish. Unfortunately, not able to put it back in victory lane for you and the team, but still a good walk takeaway after only having 2 cars on the field with a major wreck from your other teammate, the 99, early on. So, congrats to you. Definitely good luck going in to Bristol in 2 weeks, because that is, I feel, about to be a lot more treacherous than what we've seen these last 3.
For sure. I love short tracks, and I'm super excited for Bristol.
All right, Tristan. We hope you have a good night, man.
Of course, you too.
Second place finisher of Tristan Pena, everybody. Already locked himself into the playoffs off of the Daytona win. Looking to get as many points and as many wins as possible in the season. That is the goal for everybody, right? Unfortunately, tonight just wasn't the night for him to be able to do that because of a dominant car who led 178 laps of this race. The man on wheels, J.J. Moore.
What's going on?
You tell me, man. You just broke a lot of stats tonight. A lot of records being broken tonight. Before this, you had 600. You had 600 laps led, I do believe. Adding another 100. You had 634 laps led, adding another 172. That puts you, I believe, at 812. If I'm not mistaken on that math.
Yeah, sounds about right. Somewhere in there.
812 is the correct number. To the record tonight. Now moving yourself up on the win. Hell of a race for you.
Cutting in and out.
I'm cutting in and out?
Yeah, on my end you are.
I think everything sounds good. No, Jordan says I'm cutting in and out bad too. I don't know why.
I don't know. I had my Discord crash a time or two before this, so it may be a Discord thing. I don't know.
Everything sounds good on stream, so. Are we good now?
Yeah, you sound fine now.
Okay. I have no idea what the hell that was. So, of course, last year when we came here, you unfortunately got wrecked out early on. A little incident with Morton. So you really didn't get to show your skill level here at Phoenix. Of course, able to do it tonight. Did a really good job at holding the lead, gapping the field at the biggest points and times at the end of the stage where it truthfully mattered. It seemed like you struggled a little bit there at the end of stage 3. It looked like you broke loose with like 3 to go. Was able to maintain it, save it, get back into the gas by easing back into it, and then kind of slowed your corner entry down there with a 3-second lead. How do you feel like the race went tonight, especially after the last 3 weeks of what some people would call chaos?
Well, the first thing I'd like to mention is I don't really know exactly what happened in the other three races. I wasn't here for Daytona. I was here for Atlanta. I struggled. I was here for about half of Atlanta, and then I wasn't here last week for Vegas. But I'm saying from what I've heard, I was if what I've heard is true, I'm really happy with what we had racing tonight. We had numerous long runs. We had a lot of good side by side battling, a lot of tire saving, a little bit of strategy call there in stage one, people pitting, not pitting. So in my eyes, I think that was about the perfect race you could play out for um, just being able to have an entertainment standpoint. Because I was having a blast in the car. I was battling with Tristan most of the race. I had to run into Corey there in stage one or two. I was riding with Isaiah there at the start. Lucas, I was there with Kenneth, Josh, not really near Steven, but I'm saying we were kind of battling from a couple seconds apart. And so I had a blast. Um, Obviously, I came away with the win. Like you said, I was just kind of on cruise control the second half of that race, but it was just really fun. I'm glad we can get green flag racing in here. I know everyone in here is capable of it, and tonight really proved it. We had how many cautions did we have? 4 or 5?
Technically, 4 incident cautions, 2 cautions for stage. So 20 laps of pacing, -6 for the stage laps. So really only 4 incidents here tonight.
Yeah, I'm saying that's not. But for 220 laps of Phoenix, with how many people we had and just the way the track was handling, I would call that a win for the race.
Now, of course, like you said, missing the last 2 weeks, you've now just put yourself in the playoffs, joining Steel City Racing's Tristan Pena and Mark Morton. Um, and what would have been Nathan Hawks, but he is a part-time driver, so there's still that spot open. We asked you last year in playoffs, what your goal was coming into this season, and you really kept it simple. You said you wanted to kind of just feel the team out, feel the field out, and kind of just help the team as much as possible within playoffs. Now that you are full contention, you've finally got yourself that win to put yourself into the round of 16, expecting another win from you in 2 weeks at Bristol, because we saw you sweep that race last time we went. That would put you, I mean, in a really good position. That would give you already another win, bumping you up to a 3-way tie with Josh Mayu and Lucas Lewis for all-time stats. If you lead all of those laps, you will move to first in laps led. You're only behind Morton by a handful, 822 to 812. And then, of course, that would give you another pole win, which would bump you up into fourth. So really looking to kind of kill the stats this season and push yourself in a higher position. How do you feel like this win early on really helps the rest of your momentum the rest of the season?
Well, I think the biggest thing, kind of like you mentioned, last season, I came in as a part-time car at the end of the season. I was there to help out Parker Motorsport, and I feel like I did my due diligence about as best as I could. I couldn't help them win the championship, but I helped them all grow. And then I got signed back full time. I told Jordan at the start of the season, I'll help you all out as much as you can, but if push comes to shove, I'm gonna get myself locked in first, and then I'm gonna help the team. So, like you said, I got the win now. I'm locked into the playoffs. So now the next focus is gonna be helping out the team as much as I can. And obviously, all three other cars, Lucas Lewis, Josh Mason, and Jordan, they all have really fast cars. On a week to week basis, I would say at least two of us are in win contention. I think tonight, at least two of us were in win contention. Um, so I'm definitely going to help out the team a little bit more now that I'm locked into the playoffs. Um, but yeah, too I'm not too worried about the statistical part of it. I'm saying racing kind of just racing and doing good, just the stats add up. I'm saying a lot of the laps I led have come at shorter tracks like Bristol, like you had mentioned, leading every lap last season. I'm saying if you took away Bristol, I'm in the 600 range, maybe even the 500 range. So the stats is kind of just an added bonus. If I get up top in the stats, that's a little bit of a pride moment, but it's nothing I'm really stressing over.
Now, of course, you are one of the rookies in this rookie class, a very stacked rookie class at that. With you practically pinging all of these stats off, and you know, getting this early on victory, still have multiple other races where you can put yourself in victory lane from what we've seen in the playoffs. Of course, now have the opportunity to go back to back, as you got the win here at Phoenix, and then on the 11th of April we'll possibly have another opportunity to get that win at Bristol if everything goes your way. Do you really feel like you might have that vote for Rookie of the Year already kind of solidified, or do you feel like it's still too early to call?
I still think it's too early to call personally. I'm just kind of we're what 4 races into like a 38 race season. I'm saying Nathan, like you said earlier, Nathan Hawks has that win at Vegas. He's a rookie. I don't have, I don't know who all's a rookie, but I know I can tell you by fact that there are a lot of rookies, and like you said, the rookie class is absolutely stacked out of its mind. Um, and I'm not gonna say, yeah, I think I already have it on locks because obviously I could crap the bed for the rest of the season, and a bunch of other rookies win races, and I just not do anything good. But I definitely think this is a step in the right direction for winning that.
Now, of course, man, before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your Saturday with a win under the belt, you know we always love to ask if you have any shout-outs you'd like to give to anybody.
Well, firstly, as always, I gotta shout out Jordan, and all of the rest of Parker Motorsports. They all had their nights, but I think all in all, the team did pretty good. Um, I want to thank Davidson College, the primary sponsor of my car, for not really a sponsor, but that's the college I'll be going to in the fall. And I want to thank them for accepting me into college. I know they're probably not watching, but still got to do it. Um, Shout out all the personal sponsors, T-Max, Hoist, Diecast News, with how they help out with. Um, yeah, thank you for broadcasting, as always. It's great to have a broadcaster up here in the booth, letting um, letting us be seen from all parts of the world, I guess. And yeah, I think lastly would be to thank the field because that was a really fun race. I'm glad the field was able to keep it green.
Well, of course, congratulations to a dominant night here at Phoenix. The Desert Dash is officially yours for the night, definitely for the week. Highlight of the season for you so far. Definitely look forward to seeing what you're going to pull out of the hat once again at Bristol and possibly see you go back to back.
It'd be nice, but I know I think we briefly talked about it. The competition's so much stronger this season. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go back to back. I'll be honest. There's some guys that will be able to contend with me. I think it won't be nearly as easy as it was last season.
Well, or like I always love to say, can't count your chickens before they hatch. So we'll have to just wait until the 11th of April to find out if it's going to work in your favor again.
Yep.
All right, JJ. Well, I appreciate you joining us up here tonight. And once again, congratulations on your win, man. Hopefully, we will be talking to you next week as well.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see.
All right, man. You have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too.
That was your race winner,
J.J. Moore. You see him burning it down now on screen with those celebratory burnouts. Of course, one hell of a race, like we said, only 4 cautions. Wreck cautions for 16 laps of pacing. The other 2 were stage 1 and 2 break. Of course, J.J. Moore gets first place here tonight with 178 laps led on the night, putting him in second for the all-time stats on top of his other 638 laps. Tristan Pena comes in a close second place finish. Just could not get it to work for him. You heard him say it earlier. It was very difficult at some points in times with a loose car, but still battling with a loose car. He did a good job finishing out in second. Third place finish, we had Stephen Hollingsworth, a man that has been on a mission so far to prove as to why he has it all. Of course, Corey Rainey finishing in 4th. And Lucas Lewis rounding out your top 5. Of course, it has been a great night here. Fantastic racing from the field after the hammer was dropped last week after a rough Vegas run. But of course, the gambling at the casino was worth it all because the Desert Dash paid off. Of course, we would always like to thank our sponsors who let us present this race to you live tonight. That was the NARAS Cup Series on behalf of Asphalt Racing Network, Decals, Paint and Photoshop, and Young Hitta Collectibles. This race was brought to you and presented by those. Of course, on behalf of Asphalt Racing Network and the NARAS Cup Series, we would like to thank you guys for tuning in here with us tonight. As always, all good things must come to an end, and now is the time. So, of course, be sure to check us out here on Monday for American Stock Car Racing League 905 is their green flag. Right time on Wednesdays and Thursdays for the ARCA and Truck Series. And next week we will be off for NARAS. But on the 11th and 10th, find us live here Fridays for the Truck Series and Saturdays for the Cup Series. Until next time, everybody, we hope you have a good night, a good weekend, and a happy Easter if we don't see you before then. We're going to leave you with the white flag lap where JJ was able to bring it on home. We will see you guys next time. So much for people letting me know when they don't want an interview.
I know. It's fucking stupid.